wearing a mask while working out.
Mm-hmm.
So that's very funny that you just said that.
Yeah.
So, but then when you get out to where I live, it's not nearly as crazy. Some people are, some people aren't. But then when you go to the county that Dakota lives in, I saw a fight at a post office.
Wow.
Because it was right at the beginning when people weren't required yet. It was just a suggestion.
Yeah.
And this older, which was so strange to me, it was an older gentleman with a mask on yelling at a postal worker for not wearing a mask.
Yeah.
And it was like there was me and then a maybe like middle-aged man standing there just staring at each other, being like, this is the most uncomfortable I have ever been.
Yeah.
And it was just...
That's the
granted, that was at the beginning, but
that's the sad part is that people have turned into like viewing each other as these disease, like the person is diseased.
They'll tell you on you if you don't have a mask on.
Like where did we all of a sudden just go back in time to where we were kids and we just were tattletales? And I don't know. I feel like
what I think is so interesting is I was listening to not sure how familiar or like if you guys have listened to this, but the Joe Rogan podcast yesterday with Kanye West. And you can say what you want about Kanye, but he made a very good point that kind of made me stand and pause for a minute. And he was like, everyone wants to find the bad guy. We're all looking for the bad guy in a situation instead of looking at the problem as the bad guy and the rest of us as allies. And it was so interesting. I thought, like,
who said that? Kanye or...
Kanye said
it.
Okay.
He was talking about the music industry, but it made me like really think about when you're having a fight with a friend or just like any type of relationship or throughout this pandemic. I feel like we're all looking at each other to blame for something that is out of our control. And instead of looking at like the illness as the problem, it's the left and the right. It's my neighbor versus me. It's so odd.
You know, psychologically, it all boils down to how you feel and view yourself, how you feel about yourself, your confidence, your competence, and your level of, you basically just how you feel about yourself. And if you aren't confident in yourself and you don't feel good about yourself or the things that you can control, which is like your health, and that stuff gets out of your control, people jump on the bandwagon to do anything they can to try and control a situation because they're not happy with what they can control.
Including telling on people if they're not doing something right.
80% of the population, they live in victim mode where they're always in this victim mentality where it's the government's fault, it's my boss's fault.
Yeah.
It's, whatever, the police fault, it's everybody's fault for my problems. But where's personal accountability? Why aren't people taking on their own accountability for what they can control, which is only you?
Yeah.
That's it.
Right.
And your thoughts and your actions, not anybody else. And if you come from a space of that, then you don't blame.
You've already lost.
Well,
you've already lost.
Yeah. And what I was trying to get at is when for me, myself, I can view all of these situations without raising anger, without getting hatred towards either side, because I'm good with me.
Yeah.
I'm good with my decisions. So why would any other decision that the other people are making that aren't in line with what my values are affect me at all?
Yeah.
Because I'm good with me. You know what I mean?
Well, and one thing that I love that Dakota says all the time, and he actually said it to me not that long ago, is like, you have a problem when there's a solution. And until you can find that solution, it's just an inconvenience. And like in our lives, there's going to be so many inconveniences that are just annoying. They just get under your skin. But like, what is there really a solution to it? And, a lot of times there's not. It's just your ego is getting in the way of the fact that you don't like being uncomfortable.
Yep.
Yeah.
And like you're going back and saying like you're just not confident with yourself. Like it's something that you need to have that conversation internally and be like, okay, I just need to fix myself and my perception of reality, and then just kind of keep on trucking until I do find a problem. Because there's no point in just getting angry or getting emotional over something that's just a moment in time. It's just an inconvenience for right now.
Yeah,
it is.
So can we shift gears a little bit? And
no, let's talk about COVID the whole time.
And I want to mention the 5K.
Yes.
We were able to raise $3,000 for brainstorm for brain injury.
It was awesome.
And
amazing.
that was so awesome. And honestly, Dakota's donation of the shirts helped out.
Oh, it helped us a lot.
So much because we didn't have to pay for the shirts, and it was just huge.
Yeah.
Well, and it was one of those things where, like, I've mentioned this before, when Dakota makes a connection with someone like he has with Shane, he tries to, continue with that relationship and continue to, support that person. And especially with, I think what all, with the pandemic and then just all this crazy, 2020 has been such a whirlwind that it was like, what type of positivity can we, as like Own the Dash or him personally, put out there? And I think doing the 5K and, even though I was the go-between liaison, he still would be like, hey, how's that going? When the package came in and y'all had sent stuff for Sailor and Atlee, it just was like, okay, this is a positive thing that we're putting out in the world this year. It makes me feel so good that, other people are being positively impacted instead of just like 2020 kind of being, the way it's been kind of crazy.
Well, we didn't know what to expect on the numbers or whatever, but I'm kind of glad that I think we totaled like 97 shirts or 97 packages.
Okay.
And so what I'm thankful for, I guess, is we didn't go over 100 because that would have raised, like, you can only order like 100 challenge coins at a time.
Oh, so you would have had to go 200 just if you had like 102.
And so that would have really screwed us.
Yeah.
Right.
As far as profit.
I remember when we were originally, very like beginning stages of all of this. I was on the phone, I believe, with Shane and his mom, trying to figure out, well, what kind of numbers are you guys looking at? And I know you had said, if we get 100 people, like that would be absolutely amazing. And the fact that you guys got pretty darn close to that, plus or minus like 3 people.
And the other thing is, a lot of people paid more money, like than the $35. And so that was huge too, because that raised the amount of money we could give to Brainstorm. So,
which I'm hoping that you guys are like, keeping these statistics as you guys grow throughout the year, because from what like I mentioned before, I very much enjoy finding the causes for 5Ks, like I did an ovarian cancer one not that long ago. I always do breast cancer ones because of college fundraising, and I always donate a little bit more just because of the cause itself, not just the event.
It's something you actually believe in, or that's affected you in some way or whatever.
Well, and I feel like especially for y'all's 5K, especially this year, was friends, word of mouth, family, people who truly believe in the cause itself, that as you guys grow and like, you get bigger and bigger, you'll find those connections throughout the United States of people who may not know y'all directly, or people, but they're like, hey, I know that this amazing virtual 5K raises money for, like brain injury, so-and-so that I know. Like, you'll just see the connections it makes, and as it keeps getting bigger and bigger.
So we want to do this again, obviously, but I think we got the nonprofit picked out, and so it's like they take wounded people, people with amputations and
like that,
stuff like that, hunting.
Yeah.
And they're a local Utah nonprofit. So that works out really awesome because then we can give the actual check to the people involved.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. It helps.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it helps so then we can see them in person and all that kind of stuff. And we don't have to fly out somewhere or anything like that. We're not quite big enough for all that yet.
Yeah, but speaking of flying out, my family is planning on a Texas vacation.
My goodness.
Yeah, this coming year if they play baseball,
Oh, okay, yeah. If baseball is in season, then you're gonna go. Sweet.
Yeah, because
if you're allowed at the stadium,
yeah, we want to go to Arlington, where the Rangers play, because they played in Arlington for the World Series this year. So we kind of wanted to check that new stadium out.
Yeah.
Oh, well, keep me posted on that. That would be awesome to be able to just, shake each other's hands. We've talked on the phone plenty of times.
It would be awesome to come check out your factory and stuff.
Oh yeah, I'll have to talk to Dakota about all of that. Because that would be awesome. Especially with COVID, we're not allowed to have anybody come in, so that would be pretty awesome.
Well, hopefully by then.
Yeah, hopefully.
I'm praying.
Yeah,
I'm praying that things will get better.
And so, we're planning to come there, but just depends on what's open and stuff like that. So.
Well, to be honest, I feel like Texas has been pretty lax compared to other places.
Well, that's why people are moving there.
Right. Well, and it's funny that, just from what I've seen of like celebrities or big name people, I mean, Joe Rogan just recently moved here during the pandemic. I know a bunch of other comedians are moving here and are trying to find other outlets away from like Austin's a big city, but it's like I said, as you move out into it, even though you're still in Austin, you get a little bit further away from it. It's a bit different.
Yeah.
But
I feel like it's like that a lot of places. The further out into the country kind of area. Yeah. Even here in Utah, it's the same thing. But downtown
your
Salt
move
Lake,
from Provo, to Mapleton, which is only like 2 towns.
It's only a couple towns over, and it's already like it's such a night and day difference from where I lived before. So, and then you go up to major cities, and it's a huge difference.
I was going to say that I think it's the big major cities. Like I'm from around Atlanta, and as you get out into the suburbs, it's definitely a lot different than the concentrated downtown areas. But I just think it's whenever people come to Austin, it's just not like all of Texas. It's a very different representation. It's a very new age place, which is really interesting. The music, the technology, the art.
The only place I've ever been to in Texas is El Paso. So
really?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So that's not anything like Texas. That's more Mexico.
Yeah, a lot more to experience.
Yeah.
So I went to El Paso. I've only been to El Paso once. And the first, I think it was in the first 6 months I started working for Dakota, he had an event at the minor league baseball, a game there, the Chihuahuas. Speaking of baseball.
I think they're the Padres AAA team or something like that.
There you go.
Yeah. So, but I'd only been to Austin. Like I had lived here for like 6 months, and I only, hadn't really been out. And so when we flew and we had to fly there, because it's so far away, and I knew nothing about El Paso.
And that's before,
I was very naive.
Yeah, that's before Dakota started flying a helicopter or whatever.
Yes. This was probably a good year before he got his helicopter license. Yeah. So this was in 2018. And so we fly there, and I had no idea about El Paso. I just know it's like very deserty, different than Austin. I was like, cool. Yeah. So as soon as we get picked up from the airport by his buddy who we're doing the event with, like we're like driving right by the border. And like you could see like the borderline of like Mexico and Texas.